If you want to add vocals in your drop and you don't know how to mix them, this is the video you're looking for. Yo, what is up guys, welcome to a new video. My name is Wildcrow and today I'm going to show you how to mix vocals in your drop. Because yes, it's not the same as the vocals in the breakdown. The vocals in every part need to be mixed different because in every part they play with different sounds, different instruments. So in the drop is the same, you need to mix it different and I'm going to show you how to do it, how to make it sound clear, clean and to be able to hear perfectly the vocal all the time. So don't wait more, let's start with this, but don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want more content like this. So this is my upcoming song Out of My Head that is coming out next Friday 24th of June as a self-release, so I need your support, so save the date and that day go and listen to it in every streaming platform. Thank you. And if you want a preview of the song, it sounds like this. And if we check the drop start, this part and this part, we have vocals in them, but they are different vocals, so they need to be mixed different, and I'm going to show you how I mix both. If we first listen to the main vocal, it sounds like this. In the dark, and my hands are shaking, I'm alive, but my body's sleeping. And as you can see here in the drop vocals, we have a number 2. This is because in drop, I made them unique and I send them to different mixer channels. So if you go to the mixer, all of these are the vocals. Don't worry, it's not that difficult to understand. This is the main vocal and this is the drop vocal. If we look at the plugins they have in the mixer channel, as you can see, are basically the same plugins. Just the drop one have some extra ones. This is obvious because in the end they are the same vocals, so you need to cut the same resonance, boost the same frequencies and all of this. But in the drop one, you need extra processing to make it fit it better in the drop. This is because the break vocal is gonna play with softer sounds like pianos or pads, but the drop one is gonna play with a lot stronger and louder sounds like leads, the chords and the bass lines. For example, if we check these EQs, this is from the break vocal and this is from the drop one. As you can see, it's basically the same, but for example, in these frequencies I reduce more in the break one. This is minus 2.5 dBs and here just minus 1.36. This for what is said, the vocals are playing with different sounds. So you need to reduce less on these frequencies on the drop vocal, so this way it's more clear in those frequencies and I can hear it better. And of course, if I did this, doesn't mean that you need to do this. Every vocal is different, every drop is different, every sound is different, so every processing is different. Then on the drop vocal, I also have this limiter. That as you can see is limiting a lot, and this is for the same reason. The drop vocal is going to be playing with sounds that are super limited, compressed and loud. So I want the drop vocal to be really controlled, so I make sure that I can hear every single word of the vocal all the time. Another thing I have on the drop vocal is this extra reverb that is just a little bit, and is the lead reverb. I have this basically to kind of put the vocal in the same room as the leads and the chords. But the last and most important processing thing on the drop vocal is this, and if you know me for a long time, you know what this is about. This is the 3TP control and I'm gonna use it to sidechain the leads, the chords and the bassline to the vocal, but using an EQ. The drop is already super full and is covering all the frequencies, so the vocal doesn't have that much space to play. So what I'm gonna do is reduce in the most important frequencies of the vocal in those sounds that can clash with it. So basically I'm gonna give more space to the vocal. The first thing I'm gonna do is use this EQ to find the most important frequency of the vocal that usually are around here and around here. In the dark, and my hands are shaking, I'm alive, but my so now I put this EQ, for example, in the chords, and what I'm gonna do is sidechain these two frequencies. To do it, I'm just gonna right click here, link to controller, you go here, you look for the right peak control, in this case is this one, and I'm gonna choose the option peak, click here, inverted, and accept. Now on the peak control, you just need to put the bass at 50% and control the volume to reduce more or reduce less. This is just reducing around 1 dB and a half, 2 dBs, not more. And if we don't have the vocal, is not reducing. So if you were thinking that maybe this was creating empty spaces in the frequency bands, no, it's not happening, because it's only reducing when the vocal is playing, and when the vocal plays, it's gonna cover these frequencies. And for example, this is a sidechain EQ for the leads, where I'm reducing also the same frequency bands. I'm also reducing a little bit here, and this is not sidechain, it's all the time reducing, and this is because sometimes if you have a lot of high frequencies, those high frequencies can mask all the sound. And also, I'm reducing the volume of the leads 1 dB, and I did this just because I needed extra space on the leads. And maybe you're thinking that, oh, I'm gonna hear this difference in the song. No, first of all, 1 dB, you're probably not gonna hear the difference, but also as the vocals are gonna play there, you're not gonna hear the difference. And also I apply this EQ when there's a filter on the leads, and when there's a filter, you're already reducing the volume, so basically you're not gonna hear the difference of this 1 dB. Another thing I do on the vocal is this is a volume automation. But Wildcrow, why are you boosting and controlling the volume if you really limited the vocal? Because it's needed, and if it's needed, I just use it. The vocal needs to be loud enough to be able to hear it perfectly. But the question is, how loud should it be? To know the right volume volume for your vocal, I recommend you to go to the master and put it in mono. And also go here and reduce the volume a lot so you can hear it really quiet. I do this for two reasons. The first one is that sometimes when you hear it in a stereo, the sounds on the sides can feel they are louder and they are masking the vocal that is mono. So if you put it in mono, it's like you know better the right volume of the sounds. Also because when you play this song on a club or a festival, the sound system is mono, so you need to make sure that in mono you hear it perfectly. And why do I reduce the volume a lot? Because when you hear your song with a really low volume that basically you cannot hear it, you're gonna realize more about the difference of volumes of the different sounds. So if you hear it really quiet and you can understand every single word of the vocal, probably you have a right volume. Maybe it's too loud, of course, but at least it's not too quiet. For the video, I'm just gonna have the normal volume, but if we made the automation, in some parts it's a bit more difficult to understand what it says, but with the automation, I hear perfectly every single word. Now I put it on a stereo. Now that I listen to it in a stereo, I think the vocal needs to be a little bit louder, but if I make it louder, then when I listen in mono, it's gonna be too loud. So that's why it's good to go back and forth, checking in mono and stereo, and get a good volume for both of them, but especially for mono. Now if we go to the first drop where we have these other vocals, these vocals are more harmonies. So these vocals don't need to be that loud or that present as these ones. Of course, you can do whatever you want on your song. I just wanted them to be more kind of harmonies and ambient sounds. If we check the mixer, this has the processing of the harmony vocals. They have also an extra limiter like the other drop vocals. They also have the peak control and the reverb from the leads. Because the basses are the same as the other drop vocals. A limiter to control the vocal, a sidechain EQ to give more space to these vocals, and I just decided to add the reverb to kind of put it in the same room as the leads. So if we play these vocals, as you can easily hear, they are not that loud as the other vocals. So this is it, guys. This is how you can mix your vocals on drop. And there's only one thing that you really need to achieve, and is that the vocals sound clear and you understand every word all the time. So if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like to support it. It's free for you. And thank you so much for watching. Also, thank you so much to all these guys here for supporting me in my Patreon membership. If you don't know what the Patreon membership is, just down below in the description you have a link. You can go and check all the information. But basically, I'm gonna help you as much as possible making music and growing as an artist. So nothing else, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.